Normally, running back would be a position that just really isn't that interesting, but it's still the case of this draft. Anyway, though, we got actually a pretty deep group here today. Let's get through the top 10 running backs in the 2025 NFL Draft. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL. Of course, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this edition of 2025 NFL Draft Prospect Positional Rankings. Of course, we will be going through 10 running backs today, 4 honorable mentions, something like that. I don't really know. I was going to do 5, but the other guys I don't really just want to talk about. We'll get to them, though, on probably Wednesday or Tuesday or sometime. Anyway, guys, there's going to be a video coming out every single day there until the NFL Draft, of course, and we will have my grades, my opinions on every NFL team's draft coming out on Sunday. Final mock draft is on Thursday, actually, yes. So we've got a crazy week coming up for you guys. Again, it's all NFL Draft until then, kind of a marathon of sorts, but it should be fun. Of course, I'm back, and yeah, let's go. Either way, though, if you haven't watched any of my other positional rankings, it's probably a good idea because I think I'm going through at least 100 of my top prospects. It's not technically my top prospects. It's basically just by position because, I got to get those guys featured in there. Anyway, though, the scale that I have kind of just accumulated is at the top is a perfect prospect. And if you find these guys, well, I mean, you're freaking crazy, to be honest with you. Whatever, though, 92 to 95, we haven't had this yet, but maybe once every couple drafts to see a guy that good. 89 to 92, usually your best player in the draft, or top 2 or top, maybe even 3. 86 to 89, yeah, start at the game. These guys are they're gonna be top picks. They're gonna be starters when they come in. There's no way they're not. I mean, if you're gonna, unless you're it's like a super boomer bust guy, then maybe you'll see those guys. Boomer bust usually though are 82 to 86, so not guaranteed starters, but there's still a good chance they'll be starters in most cases. 78 to 82, they should be a good player in the NFL, not just average. They're gonna be a good player. 76 to 78, potential to be a good starter. Again, this isn't more. Again, 78 to 82, I'm like, yeah, maybe they struggle their rookie year, but after that, they should be a pretty good player. 76 to 78, I'm like, there's potential there. You could be a good player. Again, there's a lot of guys there, which is good. 75 to 76, average player. I mean, maybe he'll be good, but more likely than not, and it's not a bad thing always, more or less low ceiling, you'll be an okay player. 73 to 75, you're not great as a starter, but you could get away with it. 71 to 73, again, these players are usually good players overall, but they're just not really starter caliber to be to be honest with you guys. So they're probably more as a reliable back, which is very needed in the league as well. 69 to 71, nice. They're gonna be on the bench. They're just not gonna play much. And yeah, they're usually a special teamer on most occasions. 66 to 69, nice. Also a tackling dummy, or yeah, they're struggling to stay on a roster. 60 to 66, they're either a camp body and usually a priority on draft trading. Because again, I really don't want to grade guys that just aren't gonna be drafted. Or again, at the very least, if they don't get drafted for whatever reason, they're at least going to be on a team at the start of training camp, which is kind of the point of this. I don't want to be talking to you guys about guys who just aren't going to really be in the NFL or have a chance to be in the NFL next year. With that said, though, our first honorable mention is Woody Marks. Again, is Joquavius the reason I picked him? Partly because really he doesn't really wow me too much. Yes, he is somewhat of a decent big play threat as a running back, not as much as you would have liked, but yes, last year with good usage, he was a pretty solid player overall. I will say he didn't break tackles or had the same burst that I would have liked. As a receiving back, he's very, very, very useful, which is part of the reason that I like him a lot. Yes, the receptions kind of have gone down a little bit the past couple of years, but again, playing again with Ryan Moss, your quarterback, and some other bums, or not Riley Moss, Miller Moss, and some other bums the rest of the year, kind of didn't really work out like that. But still, he's useful out of the backfield, which I think is a big part of his game as well. But outside of that, guys, Woody Marks isn't the most fascinating running back at all. But yeah, overall solid production there, again, with Mississippi State and USC. Bashard Tulin, definitely the fastest player in this entire draft, especially at running back. Yes, you could definitely ail the Devon Achane comparisons. The only difference is he sucks as a receiver. You can't run routes. He's got terrible hands, horrible pass protection. But yes, as a runner, has decent vision and is very fast, and also can break tackles as well. So very fun guy as a runner overall. I definitely never think he'll be a starter though, just because of that receiving usage is just never going to work out. And also, I don't really know if he's an actual workhorse, to be honest with you guys. All right, up next is Trevor Etienne, who of course is he as good as Travis Etienne? No, not even close. But the good thing with him is he is a okay receiver, and as a running back, he's overall pretty effective. But again, he was never a starter there at Georgia or at, again, Florida there. So again, there's definitely some issues with that. But again, the brother comparison, also being a pretty good athlete overall, will get him in the league for sure. But yeah, Trevor isn't really that great of a player. I mean, you talk about James Cook being a guy like him in terms of, again, the Georgia production and stuff like that, but James Cook was a lot better coming out. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Treveyon Henderson, but I had to feature him here because he's an overall arguable, maybe not top 10, but close to that. And also, again, it's freaking Treveyon Henderson, guys. All right, next up is Donovan Edwards, who I want to kind of give him a little bit of a, I wouldn't say like a brief for, but again, considering what Blake Corum did in 2023, and also last year just not really being that good. Again, you might be asking, why is Donovan Edwards here? Well, overall, guys, you got to understand that 2022 season, he was on his way to being one of the better running backs in the country in 2023. But again, Blake Corum playing the way he did. And then last year, kind of with some of those injury concerns, is just not really playing that well. Kind of set him back a little bit. But overall, I do like his powerful running style, which we'll get to a lot more with the rest of these guys. But outside of that, again, he's got some good bursts. Again, he played it like against some of the best competition in the country. What I'm also supposed to tell you guys. It's Donovan Edwards. Anyway, though, that is all I got for these honorable mention running backs. Now let's get to the actual list, which is pretty interesting overall. I definitely have my takes on these running backs.
5 out of 11. Out of the backfield, Kaleb Johnson. Breaking tackles. Moving defenders and still going. Kaleb Johnson.
And the first guy we'll talk about today, of course, is a guy out of Iowa named Kaleb Johnson, who coming into this season, or last season, I should say, was probably considering on playing a senior season. But with the season he had, he's not going to have to do that. Of course, it's him being an All-American and being the best Iowa running back, and who knows how long, has given him a spot at maybe getting drafted in the top 3 rounds. Is that likely? Not too much, but still. Again, freshman season at Iowa, he had a very nice season again for a freshman to expect. Still not really much as a receiver even as a junior, but again in 2023, even though he was injured for like I don't know, I was an ankle thing, he wasn't the starter for most of the year. He struggled to start, and then they just said, yeah, you're not getting what we want out of you, and we're gonna put some other dude in. I really forgot his name because last year, holy crap, 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, insane. Consistency out of him, and yeah, he was just a complete beast. I mean, 120.1 yards per game. Probably tells you all you need to know with that. I mean, yeah, he did like the Big Ten, I guess. Whatever, though, yeah, he was an absolute beast last year. Now getting into his logistics. He is not the fastest running back in the world, but I'm not gonna overreact and act like you know. he's like he's slow. I mean, he's not fast, but I definitely say below average speed. 6'7" to be fair. Vision, he's got really good vision. I'm not going to act like he can see a hole before it opens all the time, but he definitely has some really good instincts there. And on a play-to-play basis, he's usually in the right hole. So 84. Power, good. He runs with power every single snap, which I like a lot. The consistency is definitely there. In terms of actual sheer ceiling with it, I don't know if it's going to get too much better, which could hurt him in terms of rolling over a tackle, getting that extra yard. But on a down-to-down basis, really good. Jump cut, it's not too bad. He definitely got a lot more effective. Again, this is part of the reason he was able to break away in a couple more runs this year. Again, yes, he was able to react into those holes again, like in the year like 2023. But in terms of actually getting that maybe the potential yardage, wasn't able to do that again 2 years ago. Last year was able to do it again. He does have a very much better jump cut in terms of the explosiveness out of that. Speaking of that, elusiveness, guys, this isn't always like breaking tackles per se. Really just getting around guys one way or another. Definitely a little bit more impressive is probably the best way to put it, because there were plays where I'm like, holy crap, what the hell did he just do? But on other plays, it's like, yeah, a guy like, I don't know, freaking Saquon coming out would definitely probably make a guy miss. Not like just like kind of a comparison between those two. Grip. Yeah, really good grip. I'd probably just call it solid. He gets the yardage usually. It's not like it's a surefire thing, but most of the time he's pretty good with that. Hands, probably average, to be honest with you guys. I mean, he's not going to make those insane catches, but again, if you picture to him in the backfield screens like that, he's not dropping anything. His route running is definitely very limited. He probably has maybe a nice swing route in him or something like that, but yeah, it's not very good. Red zone versatility, I do like his red zone versatility because, like I said, he's very good with those short yardage conversions, and you can get him on the edge pretty well. Again, he's that curvature, elusiveness, or speed, whatever the hell you want to call it. Again, those outside zone, very, very good there. And in terms of NFL teams again, they run a lot of ISO, duo, 2-block, which again is what I call, pin and pull there. You got outside zone, inside zone, all that crap. You also got stretch. But again, with all that said, he can run almost all of those. And again, we're going to talk about again as an NFL offense. I'm not going to act like, yeah, these running backs need to be able to run this, because it's not true. On most NFL teams, guys, you're going to have another running back to get that done. Whatever the way. Nonetheless, can he break a tackle? Yes, he's very good at breaking tackles. Actually, probably elite in terms of the numbers last year by PFF. I'm not one to go back and try to track, oh yeah, was that an elite rate of breaking tackles in the season. I really don't care. On a film play-to-play basis, you can see it. But it's definitely exemplified a little bit more with the numbers. I'm going to go with the numbers in this one because I think that'll definitely stick in the league. The way he breaks tackles, he does it on elite clip numbers-wise, and on film, it looks pretty similar. Patience, it's not great. There are times where he tries to hit a hole that just straight up isn't there, and he does get frustrated here and there, again, especially last year at some points. But again, with the, I would definitely say increased, I'd say, like, I don't even say patience, but, like, trust in the, like, method and the process. I think that's definitely gotten better. Pass protection is never going to be very good, to be honest. His technique is just atrocious, and I never really see him being good there. His explosiveness is definitely below average, but it's definitely on that teetering line. I think it's so average that it's just not going to ever be that great. Definitely better than Kyron Williams, though. I will say that. Kyron Williams is not an explosive running back, but, yeah, Kaleb Johnson is a little bit better there. Acceleration, not great. He's never really. It takes him a minute to get to full speed, which is just really, really annoying. Because when he does get through a big hole, he's not just flying through it like his eyes just like blow up. It's more of like a bam instead of a like that. It's not like that. Efficiency, pretty efficient overall. Again, the numbers tell you what it was last year. Improvisation, he's pretty improbable either. Again, this terms of like bouncing things outside and really just taking things into your own hands. Athleticism, not an insane athlete. I'm not going to act like he's a bad athlete by any means because he's just not, but overall probably around average. I do like his potential. He could be a starter at some point. That's why we got a 73.7 overall grade for him and DeMarco Murray's comparison. Again, DeMarco Murray didn't probably have the career he wanted, but over on the Cowboys, I mean, a little bit on the Titans, I guess. You probably like what you saw of him. That's all I got for Kaleb.
Nice. R.J. Harvey with all kinds of room. R.J. Harvey. He's got no one else to catch him. R.J. Harvey all the way.
And up next is a guy who has gotten overlooked every single year he has been in college football. Of course, that being R.J. Harvey out of UCF, who is not a big guy at all. Very similar to Deuce Vaughn in a lot of ways, except he's a lot heavier and he's a lot freaking more beefy and just nasty. 2020, he didn't really play. I don't really know why that's there. 2021, I really don't even know. Did he tear his ACL? I've never really got a full medical report on it, guys. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. But in 2023, he just got so many carries and was, I wouldn't say, honestly, I didn't even think he was that good in 2023, at least on a consistent down and out basis in terms of, again, like the overall ability and potential. He wasn't really popping off the screen to me. He was still good, but, like, not that good. And obviously with the COVID and all that other crap, last year he popped off and looked a lot more better on film. And yes, the efficiency technically went up, but I really don't think there was actually much of a difference in terms of that. Again, I think just in 2023 we took less risks and didn't show that same burst in athleticism that we saw last year. Speaking of that, though, they used him. He used their almost basically their entire offense. Yes, the receiver didn't really get used the way I think he could have because he actually did run decent routes last year to boot. But 25 total touchdowns was a hell of a lot. And yeah, I think he was all conference, if I'm not mistaken. He should have been at the very least. Anyway, though, yes, he is a he's a very gifted player. And also, I will say, for a guy who might not be think will be a good kick returner, I think that could definitely be a place for him in the league, which we'll get to later. Anyway, though, for RJ, he's got really good speed. It's not going to, like, wow you off the screen, but again, in terms of getting to the edge, getting that extra first down, breaking a long run, he definitely has it. And you can see it in the open field. I'm not going to act like it's, like, elite, but it's really solid. He's going to be able to get those 70-plus yard touchdowns. And again, he has that ability. Vision, pretty decent. I'd say it's more inconsistent than anything, but I definitely saw some better signs this year, which I like. But I can't really ignore the fact that there were some games where I'm like, yeah, that UCF offensive line, which was absolutely fantastic in 2023 overall as a run unit. Again, in terms of run blocks created, I think they were like 2.4 yards, which is insane. Again, this is before contact. This was in 2023 as well for them. And again, I just think that RJ in 2023 didn't really take advantage of it. I have to keep that in account. Yes, last year looked a lot better overall, but again, still, there are some plays where, yeah, he just completely just doesn't like hit the hole at the right time, a little hesitant, and that's just going to kill you in the NFL. I got to just say that. Power, good power. Again, I'd say it's similar to Kaleb Johnson, just the fact that he doesn't really run the same aggression all the time, which is okay, because there are some definitely other things that I like about him. Jump cut, kind of just average. I really think he can get better with this overall. Again, it's more comes to the hesitancy than anything. Elusiveness, not great. He's not going to slip too many tackles. More anything, he's just going to roll over it. Short yard conversions, 85. I think he's going to, more often than not, if like at all, he's going to get that extra yard, especially in the red zone. Hands are dead average. He's going to drop a pass here and there. That's more than anything. Route running, I do like a lot. Like I said, out of the backfield, he is very dangerous. I really like those Texas routes. Again, he has some like weird swing thing he runs that's like very exclusive to him, which I like a lot. Red zone versatility is very, very high because, like I said, those routes are going to really help him in the league. And despite again not having the greatest hands, but yes, he can be used in a lot of ways there. Even blocking, like you'd be surprised. He can break tackles pretty well overall. I'm not gonna act like he's gonna break every tackle. Again, if there's 3 guys coming back to, he's not gonna get out of that. But again, outside of that, he's pretty consistent. Patience, not good. He's very impatient. He always will be. But at the same time, I think he can work around it, and it's just kind of part of his game at this point. His pass protection is abysmal. I don't really see that getting better anytime soon either. His explosiveness is very, very good. He can break long runs. That's one of the better things that he was able to do last year. I'm not gonna say really as a juxtaposition to 2023, but it's pretty similar. Again, in the fact that you had the fact that yes, his vision definitely improved in 2023, but at the same time, the explosiveness also is a part in that as well. Because I think that's probably give there, but it's always been really good overall. Acceleration, he can accelerate really well. Probably one of the biggest differences. The only difference is I think that his acceleration on terms of a down-and-down basis isn't really consistent. That's probably what I'll say. Because there's some plays where I'm like, holy crap, he just went to 0 to 50 and freaking, I don't even know, so fast. But then there's other plays where I'm like, yeah, it took you 8 seconds to do that, on such a wide open hole. So it's very tipsy-turvy here and there. Efficiency, not again. The numbers will say pretty good, but guys, I think he had what was it? Freaking Arizona, where he broke off 4 25+ yard runs. So the efficiency isn't what you love in terms of on film, but when you look at it overall, again, it's yeah, it's gonna definitely look a little bit better. Improvisation, very good. Again, part of the reason he's able to break off these long runs is because he's kind of thinking of what I can do on this play. Again, in terms of the instincts that maybe other guys won't think to do. Athleticism, pretty good athlete, nothing insane though. Potential, I think he has average potential just because of his size. I don't know if there's many teams that are gonna let him be a 3-down player like that and put up those insane numbers. But despite not being the most attractive receiving back, I think that could definitely keep him on the field on those 3rd downs. I do like the Austin Eckler. There are flashes and some things that are similar to them, which is why I'll be okay with that comparison. But 76.7 is what we get for the overall grade, which I think is very fair. He's got a lot of good things, guys. He should be a guy who will break off some long runs in the league and be a really fun guy to watch. Yes, the Austin Eckler comparison is definitely a little bit generous, considering Austin Eckler can at least pass protect and is definitely a lot more patient, despite, last year with, what is it called? He was never thought of to be, because guys, he was undrafted. He really thought he was a below average speed guy. But again, he kind of overcame that in the league, despite 2023 being very slow. Last year was a little bit better. But with that said, that's all I got for RJ Harvey, who I do like a very lot.
On a 1st down on the edge of the red zone, it's Skabetto. Might get all 18 right here. Skabetto thunders ahead, and he is...
Now on to a guy that I could just straight up not deny putting on this list, of course, that being Cam Skabetto. Yes, was he the most, I'd say, prototypical running back in the league? Probably not. After a year in 2023 with Arizona State, that really wasn't that impressive overall. He popped off in 2024 for, yes, I guess it was in 13 games, 2,300 yards. Holy, 338 total touches, which, of course, led the country. 209, I think that, there's no L, we got Jeanty. That's different. 293 carries, though, 1,700 yards. Again, the yards per carry is still crazy. 21 touchdowns, 605 receiving yards. He did it all last year. Again, he's definitely a pudgy running back in the way he runs, but, guys, you can't tell me Cam Skabetto didn't do everything he possibly could to help Arizona State make that college football, playoff there and almost knocking off Texas and really proving that team was absolutely deserving of being where they were. Anyway, though, yes, Cam Skabetto he's an all-around great running back in terms of the versatility, because you can't say he's not. There's some things, but yeah, anyway, his speed, he's not a fast running back, guys. He just is not. I'm not going to say he's, super slow, but he's definitely a slow running back. I can't tell you it's not true. Game speed, he's not that fast. And the times and stuff like that, it's impossible to say he's you can't tell me he's a fast running back. He's just not. Not even I can't give you that. With that said, though, his vision is very, very good. Makes up for maybe not being the fastest guy in the field. With that said, though, his power it's special, to be honest with you guys, because there wasn't any running back in the country. I won't even say Ashton Jeanty even close to the fact that this guy just on a down-and-out basis was just running over guys. He's a freaking bowling ball. He's going to wear you down, too. It's not good. Jump cut. Probably, again, it's definitely a limit to the fact that he's not going to really, blow you by on those. But, again, when he sees that hole, there you go. Pretty decent. Elusiveness, he'll break tackles. It's not going to be anything insane, but, yeah, I guess. I guess it's a little just shaky. All right, that's enough there. Grit, yeah, decent. Hands, he's got really good hands. He's freaking catching whatever amount of passes. Route running, I do like a lot. It's definitely a lot more expanded, a lot more, I'd say higher potential than a lot of these other players. A lot more advanced, probably that's the word, probably for that. A lot of probablys. Anyway, though, red zone versatility, I don't know if I like this. It's weird because there are times where as a runner, he's not going to be able to get you that extra yard. It's weird, but yeah, what am I supposed to tell you guys? You freaking watch the game. Also, by watching his receiving tape, I think he definitely is a lot more well fit if we're talking about like 20-yard out instead of like goal line type of stuff. Yes, he can break a tackle. Really good at doing it. Patience is elite for sure. He will wait 2 or 3 seconds. I know he is not fast. He will wait a couple of seconds here and there to make the run there. Pass protection is not good, but it's okay. You can definitely live with it. Explosiveness, guys, with this low, with not being a fast running back, you're not going to be explosive on 90% of downs is what I'd say. His acceleration actually is probably dead average, to be honest with you guys. I don't think it's like, honestly, a lot more better than I thought it would be, but it's still, like, on the grand scheme of things, he's not the most explosive running back out, or he doesn't accelerate the best. Efficiency, not great. I mean, like, I love what you did in 2024, guy, bro, overall. Like, the volume speaks, but, like, in the NFL, are you really going to be averaging anywhere near to 5.8? I would be shocked. I think he's running a 4, to be honest with you guys, just as a projection. Improvisation, it's okay. I think he's definitely a lot more better with that in the receiving game. His athleticism is solid, though, again, for his size. And being a guy, again, who's just not the fastest, pretty good. I like his potential a lot, though. I think this guy who could definitely produce. 79 overall grade. We got Kareem Hunt as comparison again. Kareem Hunt was never the fastest guy coming out either out of Toledo. So with that said, that's all I got for Cam.
Howard steps up. Howard!
Area. They're down an 8. Blitz coming on Howard. Has time.
And up next is the one of two Ohio State running backs, first being Treveyon Henderson, who, yes, I would say I had higher hopes for as a freshman than maybe he did last year, but at the same time, he's still a very good running back coming in. And yes, has very, very good size and just overall measurables. With that said, though, as a freshman, he tore on the scene with a 1,300, something like that, yard command. And overall had a monster season, also showing some receiving ability. Since then, again, 2022, injuries, riddled season. 2023, also injury-riddled season, despite, I think, actually even better than the year he had as a freshman. And then last year, in a much less reduced role, which was a good thing, and with Quinshon there as well, he had his best year yet. Not in terms of the actual overall volume, but like down basis, he was a lot better. Different runner in terms of the overall fluidness that I saw out of him, and also just looked a lot more confident. Yeah, the 1,000 yards is definitely milked out of him, but again, with the usage being lower, a lot better. The efficiency speaks to what, again, was a much better season overall, in my opinion, than we saw in the past 2 years. But at the same time, again, there's still some things to work on, which we'll talk about now. So, yes, is Treveyon a burner? I definitely say so. He doesn't have, you could definitely say it's elite speed, but on a down basis, it's just not really consistent enough for me to say that. But, yes, he does have that breakaway speed. It's very apparent. Vision, not great. That's part of the reason, again, him and Quinshon, again, split carries in a lot of ways. On those counter runs, he's not always the most decisive, and also the fact that he doesn't really always see the holes open before they open is an issue. Power, inconsistent is probably the best way to put it, because there are downs where he just doesn't really care and he just kind of like gets swallowed up. But there's other plays where he's like, yeah, I'm just going to completely freaking run over you. Jump cut. I don't really know how to explain it. I want to say it's like Najee Harris, but it's just not, because he's a lot, like, he can accelerate a lot better than Najee can. But at the same time, kind of is, because his jump cut is just, it's not pretty to watch. That's probably the best way to put it. Elusiveness, probably should be even better than it is, but again, for considering the fact he's again not the most agile in the world, it kind of makes sense. Short yardage conversions, not great. His hands are pretty solid overall. Route running is, I would say it's a little bit limited, but at the same time, with some of the stuff you have him running, I think it's definitely a little bit more advanced at the same time. A little bit weird there. But there are some stuff he should be able to run, like, I don't know, freaking Texas, considering what you're going to use him as. It just really hasn't looked that good, especially with like Will Howard trying to get him the ball consistently at times. Red zone versatility, not great. I wouldn't say he's limited, but at the same time, you're not going to want this guy running freaking wheel routes off of like a freaking inside zone where he just got popped. Can he break a tackle? Inconsistent. Again, there are times where he gets swallowed in the hole where I'm like, yeah, you got to be able to nick that arm tackle. But the other times, he like knocks, like just freaking hurdles the guy. Patience. Not great. I'm not going to say he's impatient, but like, guys, he's got to be able to like sit in the backfield a little bit longer in times. Like he usually just takes it right out of the hole, which isn't going to really work for him. I think that's more of like a process than anything though, so I'm not going to like go too crazy about that. Patience is a little bit more of a developmental skill when you think about it, again, what the team wants. Pass pro is really good. That's probably his best skill, to be honest with you guys that I know in this draft. If you tell me who's the best pass blocker for a running back, it is him. I don't really think it's that close. That's why he was in there on third down a lot. Explosiveness is very good. He's going to break long lunges. You saw that pretty consistently. Acceleration, not actually as good as you might think. It does actually take him a second to get to that top speed, but at the same time, he's able to get out pretty well, so I'm not going to really complain too much about it. Efficiency. Again, there are times where he's able to, I don't know, like 5 or 6 runs in a row. He's able to bring out 4 or 5, depending on the blocking. But again, undepending on the blocking, the yards after contact could definitely be better. Improvisation, Not great. He's, again, like I said, he's going to just try to hit the hole usually. And again, that does limit him a little bit, but whatever. Athleticism obviously is pretty solid, and you are going to get a decent potential out of him just because of that speed. I think there's other running backs that are definitely slower that, again, if they had his speed, would be probably arguably the second or probably the third best running back in this draft class. But with that said, though, 74 point, I'm probably say 4 over grade. Dalvin Cook's comparison, because, again, they're very similar. Dalvin Cook isn't the most accelerated player, considering Dalvin Cook did lose some speed as of late, and also isn't really the it's even like just horrible acceleration at this point. He is not in the league anymore, so yeah, kind of makes sense. Anyway, that's all I got for Treveyon.
That we haven't seen all year.
They're going with the hurry up, blitz upside, but Sanders up the middle, and here he goes. Rocking at the 40, 30, 20, 15, 10. They're not going to get him.
And next up, if you were wondering who is Arkansas's running back when they had Quinshon Jefferson or KJ Jefferson, is he even around anymore? That one good season, it was Raheem Sanders, who we'll talk about right now, who I think is a very underrated running back in a lot of ways. Yes, is he borderline top 10? You could argue, but overall, I like him a lot. His 2022 season with Arkansas is still, I think, I wouldn't even say it's a flash in the pan. It was probably a little bit of an outlier season overall in terms of just the overall consistency. I did go back and watch his film, just so you know, because I thought, again, going into 2023, I'm like, this is a guy, if he has a year, could absolutely be drafted in the first 3 rounds. Again, because if you watch his film in 2020, you're like, holy crap, this guy's a freaking monster. But injured in 2023, like a bad injury, caused him to not really be used the way I think he should have, again, after transferring to South Carolina. But at the same time, still put out a pretty decent season, just not really the same explosiveness or the same, like, get-off than we might have thought. But still, decent usage as a receiver really helped him a lot. Again, in the red zone, I really like what I saw at him. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff for South Carolina transfer, but overall, again, Raheem still doesn't look like he did as a sophomore. With that said, though, he still has really good speed. Again, he was definitely apparent in a lot of ways, again, in terms of getting that, getting those extra yards and being able to put those first downs, was able to do it. His vision has always been abysmal. I don't like, again, this is probably the biggest issue with him. You might say, oh, that's Trent Richardson, but I'd say 50% of the time is going to be able to get the ball and read out a block really well. But the other 50%, yeah, you're probably going to get like 2 or 3 less yards than you might have won if it's a good block. If it's a bad block, yeah, it's probably not going to be a good run for you. So that is something he's going to have to get better at, because if it's not, I don't really see he'll ever be a consistent player in the league, to be honest with you. He might still get opportunities because there are some good things you'll see out of him overall, but yeah, his vision is definitely flawed, big time. Power, he runs with power almost every single down. Not always the most impactful per se or effective approach for him, but you'll only work with it. His jump cut, like I said, it's more hesitancy than anything. Like I said, the jump cut's definitely there. There's definitely a ceiling for this. I'll say that. I think there's a really low floor, but I do like the ceiling for it as well. So the jump cut, it's really just depending on the vision, to be honest with you guys. His elusiveness is very good. Again, like I said, he was able to slip tackles. That's part of the reason he did get a pretty fair usage last year, despite not being nearly consistent enough in terms of actually reading out blocks. But yes, his elusiveness is good. And speaking of that, again, like I said, he wasn't really that good either in 2023, to be honest with you. Man, no one really was for Arkansas that year. Grit, not great. I'd say it's more consistency than anything. I think there are plays where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to really try to get that extra yard because I want to do what I can do on the next one. So that's a little bit of an issue. Hands are usually consistent. His route running is limited. His red zone versatility, like I said, is also limited. Can he break a tackle? Not always. It's weird. He's better off getting in space for this to work. But yes, he will get wrapped up in the backfield pretty consistently. Like tackles for loss, negative runs, bad choices and stuff like that. That's going to hurt him. Patience, not good. Part of the reason his vision is bad is because he never takes time to read things out, like ever. Pass pro is actually not too bad, but he does get knocked around a little bit. Explosiveness, I do like pretty consistently. Again, he can break a big run. His acceleration is good. His efficiency overall, again, actually is average somehow. I don't know how I graded that out. I think it's just because, on a down-and-out basis, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought. Improvisation is probably around average. His athleticism is actually really good, and his potential is low because he can't read blocks. With that said, though, you got a 72.9 for Brian Robinson Jr. also had issues with his vision, but not as bad as Rocket. So unless Rocket wants to, be a good player, yeah, please, fix the vision because, holy crap, it's an issue.
With a lead. Quinshon Judkins with a burst. Quinshon Judkins, can he get there? Down the sideline. Touchdown.
Up next is, yes, Zeke Elliott, you might be seeing there. A very consistent running back out of, the Ohio State national champion, Quinshon Judkins, of course, 1-2 punch with Treveyon Henderson. With that said, though, he's a workhorse back. I think he could have gotten 300 carries last season and still would have probably been good for another 300. That's probably the best trait you'll get out of him, even though, again, I don't want him to overshadow any other part of his game. But, yes, he will be a guy who can give 300 carries a year and still probably get a pretty consistent base out of him from the beginning to the end of the season. We'll get injured at some point. All running backs do, so that's what I'll say there. But For a guy who's got a lot of carries, I think he's probably even more surefire than, you know, a guy like John Taylor to get his best game every single play. No, not every single play. Every single game was probably the best way to put it. Anyway, though, after a monster 2022 season with LSU, he still had a really good season 2023, but I just don't think had the same blocking overall. And also, again, he just wasn't as good, let's be honest. That 2022 season, he definitely he got some favorable plays. But anyway, 2024, again, with Ohio State, probably his best year overall in terms of what I call consistency, because yes, in 2023, it was really just based on him beating against bad opponents, let's be honest, guys. But yeah, the consistency came back a lot better. Still runs for a lot of touchdowns. Like I said, his receiver, he's very limited, so you're not going to really get out much there. But overall, 3,000-yard season, you can't really ask for much more unless you kind of flip those numbers. Anyway, though, for Quinshon, he is not a fast running back. He never has been, he never will be, but he can work with it. Vision, very, very good. He reads out blocks very well, very decisive. Power, I don't know if he always knows what the hell he's doing. He kind of just like runs like that, and it's kind of just how he goes. Jump cut is dead average. I'm not gonna really. It's not like I'm not gonna say it's like brutal or anything like that. But you're not gonna be surprised. Like it's like run the mill jump cut, guys. Again, this isn't the whole, obviously. No. That's after we read out my thinking. Anyway, elusiveness. Not great. Short yard conversion, he's pretty consistent. Hands are decent. His route running he's got like 2 routes he can run consistently, guys. If you haven't been running anything out, he's not going to create any separation. Red zone versatility. You could actually use him in a lot of different spots just because of the fact that he can be a decoy, which is nice to see there. Can he break a tackle? Yes, he does it very well. Patience is also very good to see because there's only like 3 or 4 running backs that are pretty consistent with that. His pass protection is abysmal. That's why it wasn't in there on 3rd down. Explosiveness. He can break a long run. We saw that against Notre Dame, but like I said, not the fastest guy. Acceleration, he actually gets through the hole really well. Part of the reason he was able to break off a decent amount of bigger runs this year. Efficiency, very, very consistent. He takes pride in that a lot. Improvisation, again, like I said, he's usually trying to take the normal hole, so you're going to just have to roll with that. Athleticism is... I want to give him like a lot higher than this, but like, let's be honest, guys, it doesn't really pop off like that. And also just RAS and all, I can't really do that. Potential, I like him as, again, a guy who could be a workhorse at some point. 76.2 overall grade. David Montgomery's comparison, I like that one a lot. That's all I got for Quinshon.
Unreal talent. And there he goes. Jeanty into the clear blue.
Now on to a guy that, I hopefully think you've heard of. Anyway, we got Ashton Jeanty, who, of course, I don't really need to talk about too much, because if you don't know who he is, well, yeah, welcome to football. Anyway, though, 2022 with Boise State, no one knew who he was last year. Some guys knew of him. I definitely did. But, yeah, I knew who he was before he popped off. But, yeah, he had a very good season. Last year, though, he almost broke Barry Sanders' record. Obviously, everyone knows about him. He was that entire Boise State offense. And he really wasn't used as a receiver, which is okay, considering you went for 26 holy 100 yards. Yes, he's a beast. 7.0 yards per carry. That's insane. Yes, not against the greatest competition, but who the hell cares? All right. Ashton Jeanty stats. Speed, not off the charts. Honestly, I love the Alvin Kamara. I love the Alvin Kamara thing there. Like, Maurice Jones-Drew's the comparison, but, like, trust me. I love the Alvin Kamara with the speed. Take them at the same age. I love that race. Identical speed. Vision, it's good. But I don't want to act like he doesn't see things before they happen. It's just not true. Like, on film, you watch his reaction, you watch the tape on his own. He's not before, he doesn't jump like that. It's just not true. But, still really good. It's not off the charts. I gotta press that. People think, oh yeah, he's so good because he can see things. No, it's just not true. Power. There we go. Doesn't have to, I don't think this is something that I think will be useful for him, because again, I'd like to say, it's awesome if it's in like the 90s or something. Like, that's always a good sign. But for him and his running style, it's never going to really be something that's going to be too featured as you might think. Jump cut is obviously special. This is his signature move. I'm not going to act like it's as good as Saquon's, because that's just not true, but his jump cut is off the charts. Again, after he makes that cut, you know it's going to be a freaking big run. Elusiveness, very, very good, and shaking big pretty well. Your short yardage conversion is usually pretty good. Hands are, they're not great. His route running is also not insane, but, you'll work with it. Red zone versatility is very, very good. He gets in the end zone a lot, as you might expect. Can he break a tackle? Yes, he does it very well. This is his best trait. It's the best trait in the entire draft, if I'd be honest. Abdul Carter, if you want to make an argument for why Abdul Carter is the best player in the draft, is because he has the best 2 or 3 traits in this entire draft, which I'm okay with saying. But Ashton Jeanty's up there, too, because he can break tackles with the best of them, which, again, is probably the number 1 trait you want on a running back. No, it is. Patience, very patient. It's nice to see. He will take as long as he wants. or needs. Pass pro is actually not too bad. His explosiveness is obviously very, very good. He broke a lot of big runs for a reason, despite maybe not having that extra speed. It's also because he accelerates better than anyone I've honestly ever seen, guys. He gets going right away. Top speed at 2 or 3 steps, to be honest with you guys. Efficiency, very efficient. As you can see, 7.0 yards per carry on that many touches. Kind of tells you where he is. Improvisation, very, very good. He'll do whatever he wants out there, and you just kind of go with it. Kind of just break schemes. If you're talking about defensive rules, you're talking about, so we have a guard kicking out, and then we have, let's say, I don't know, 3 tech going with him. Gap integrity. We're trying to keep this C gap, again, here with the 4i on this side next to you. Well, Ashton Jeanty will say, I'm following my guard, now I'm not. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you just can't, because he'll break your tackle. It's pretty simple. You could have protections even in that, and still, Ashton Jeanty will break them. It's insane. Athleticism is really good. I don't think he's an elite athlete, though. That's one thing I want to preface here. He's not an elite athlete. Of course he is. Well, in terms of, we're talking just the base guy. Measurable-wise, not an elite athlete, but still obviously really good. His potential is off the charts. It wouldn't be off the charts, but very close to being off the charts. We got an 87.3 overall grade for him. And Maurice Jones-Drew, who's the best running back in Jack's history, argue with the wall on that one. So, I do think I like that comparison a lot, and that's all I got for Ashton.
This time just hands it off.
And Martinez lowers the shoulder, breaks free. He's headed inside the 10 and muscles right on into the end zone.
Up next, we do have the Oregon State transfer to Miami. Of course, they being Damien Martinez, who I was really expecting a lot more out of last year. Didn't get, but at the same time, it wasn't as bad as the guy we'll get getting into a little bit. But anyway, Damien Martinez still wasn't a bad player last year. He showed a lot more consistency in the overall, makeup of his game, which I liked a lot more. Was a lot more well-rounded. Again, good thing there. Receiver, never been good. I like it, honestly, probably as a freshman at Oregon State, probably his most explosive of the year. But again, he's averaged 6.0 or 6.1 or better every single year of his career. Again, in terms of the yards per carry. And also, he's never really played behind an elite offensive line on every single down. Yes, Sleazy Fuaga did help him a lot in terms of his ability to run to that right side back in 2023. But with that said, he is obviously a very consistent running back. Consistency is key, obviously, but he's never really make big runs. He's got probably the worst speed out of any guy we will be going through today. Vision, elite. He does know when things are going on before they happen. Power, really consistent guy. Base of his game. Jump cut, abysmal. No, it's not abysmal, but it's not fun to watch. Elusiveness. He does, again, shake out of tackles. Grip, meh. It's once in a while there, but, again, I'll take the flashes over anything. Hands are good. He doesn't have much of a route tree. Versatility, again, for what a running back can have. Red zone versatility, I'll probably just say he's dead average because you're probably going to want him the goal line there. Patience is, do I say it's special? I don't know if this is true because he trusts himself way too much. He does break tackles well enough, so I think that kind of makes sense. His pass protection is something of, it's horrid. I think he can only get better here, but his explosiveness is definitely nothing crazy. He's not going to be a guy you're going to be depending on to get a big run. Acceleration is obviously very good on a down-to-down basis, and yes, the efficiency is good. Again, 6.1 or better. That just makes sense there. Improvisation, I really didn't take much into mind here, to be honest with you guys, because I don't really think this will ever be a big part of his game, but again, could be a little more creative. Athleticism is decent. And yes, he does have good potential. So, I guess you could say Najee's the comparison because Najee's very similar. They both have very unimpressive jump points. 74.4 overall grade for Damien, though. So, you'll be seeing a tie. Who's better? We'll see.
Going to play some zone. Bowman dumps it off. Can Gordon get to the first down line again? I think he can. Wow.
All right, up next is a guy who was probably the third or maybe even second for, you can even argue first for some people going into last season, that being, of course, Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. I'll probably rant on him for a little bit. But after a minimal role in 2022, he popped off in 2023 for a 1,700-yard, 2,000-yard campaign and was an All-American, was probably the best running back, with all things said, in the country. With that said, though, last year he was awful. I mean, there's no way around it. So disappointing. Overall, the numbers actually weren't as bad as you thought on an Oklahoma State team that went 0-9. Yes, they were that bad in the Big 12. So, yes, much worse team, much worse offensive line, but he still was terrible. I got to put it out there. He could have been so much better than this. But at the same time, I will blame it partly on that what is called Oklahoma State team overall. But yes, he was not good at all. I will say the numbers look a lot better than they did at the start of the season. These are definitely inflated. But down and down basis, he was not even close. The same player he was in 2023. But with that said, still shows some very good traits. His speed has never really been a big part of his game. I got to say that. Vision, he's always been average. Just kind of how it is. Power, he does run over guys. He will. If you're a cornerback, you will get run over in open space. That's something that's really never changed from him. Jump cut is dead average. I'd say it's below average here, but it's brutally just nothing you're going to really take note of. Elusiveness, it was bad last year. Because yes, in 2023, you were like, yeah, if he made a bad decision in the hole, you're like, yeah, you could get out of it. But now it's like, yeah, he got caught. Like, he definitely was exposed for that. Grip. One or two times a game, you'll definitely see him make a play. Again, be able to get that extra yard that, again, most other running backs won't be able to get. But on a consistent basis, it just doesn't really happen. Hands are always been pretty solid. I like his route running potential for sure. His runs of versatility has never been anything to talk about too much. He's always been okay raking tackles. His patience is very good, though. Sometimes too good for himself. His pass pro has never been a big part of his game at all. He's okay explosiveness-wise. Again, I think that definitely, again, with the acceleration being a little bit more carrying than the actual speed, definitely helps him a lot. And we're talking about speed. We're talking about breakaway speed a lot for this, though, guys, to be honest. Because, like, most running backs, they're not slow. If you're slow, you're not going to play. Pretty simple. Anyway, though, improv is actually really solid. Arguably probably the biggest room for growth there. His athleticism is decent. He does have decent potential. I get he had a bad season, but like you can't take that again. Got to kind of take him at overall as prospect. Yes, he would have been a lot higher if he had a similar season than he had in 2023. But at the same time, I can't really ignore that 2023 season on the same note. So yes, James Conner's comparison, I like that one a lot. Anyway, that's all I got for Ollie.
Heels are going to run it on first down, and look out! Hampton had one taken away the last drive. Nothing being taken away this time.
And the last guy we'll be going through today, of course, is Omarion Hampton, who, yes, if you don't remember, last year that Nate Wiggins play, that is when I thought Nate Wiggins was the best cornerback in this last year's draft. With that said, though, like I said, Omarion Hampton back-to-back very, very productive seasons. He's a power back. There's no way around it. He actually has some decent speed back-to-back, very similar seasons. Last year, though, I would like to say that, again, with higher usage, very similar numbers. Again, he didn't really hurt himself by having a similar season as 2023, so, yeah. But, yeah, he's a really good player. Like, yeah. Speed, really good. For a guy his size, you wouldn't expect him to be able to break those runs out, but he's able to do so. Vision, would like to see him be able to be a little more consistent in those outside reads, but overall, again, when it comes to those inside, kind of inverted sort of designs, he's been very good with that. Power, really good. He's a power-based running back, and again, you're like, oh, that's usually good. For him, yeah. Jump cut, really solid for his size. Like, again, I'm talking about these like very like flashy sort of characteristics. He has that. Elusiveness, he's able to bounce the tackles pretty well. I think he can definitely be a little more room to guard there. Route running has never been the biggest thing with him. He does have good hands. He does have very good run versatility. He breaks tackles at a very good clip. Is very patient. I will say his pass pro isn't like, it's not really a down sort of thing in terms of like, oh god, then like, yeah. It's more of a thing that I just don't really know if he knows how to do it very well, to be honest with you. Explosiveness, he does break off big runs pretty consistently. His acceleration is something that I think definitely has some major room for, again, good improvement there. His efficiency definitely could be better. Again, the reason I say that is because, yeah, it is overall really good, but I think he could definitely get up over 5.5 on the season if he really wanted to. Improv, I think he likes to stick where he is. Athleticism, again, he trusts the team, but I definitely can see some math out of it. I really do like his potential a lot. He's got an 82.1 grade for that. Marshawn Lynch is a pretty decent comparison considering, how explosive Marshawn was at his prime. So I got for Omarion, though. And now looking at these overall rankings, we do have Kaleb Johnson coming out at 73.7. Well, I'm not mistaken, is like the, good backup or something. He should be a solid player in the league, but I don't know if he'll ever actually be a guy who gets consistent carries. We'll see, though. RJ Harvey's a guy who I think should be a starting running back. Maybe not day one, but at some point, because he's got some really good things going for him. Again, he's good at breaking tackles. Speed's definitely there. And you just saw, like, the past 2 seasons, there's some stuff on film that, again, the vision for sure and the patience have definitely improved a lot. I think, again, if you can consistently get better with that, again, we got, like, accelerated growth here. Could definitely be a guy who could be a difference in the league. Difference maker. Cam Skabetto. You can't tell me this guy isn't a freaking NFL running back. Like, look at him. Like, freaking Peyton Hillis again. Like, holy crap. But, yeah, you can't tell me Cam. Again, I get he's slow, but, like, outside of that, like, you can't tell me he's not a good running back. Treveyon Henderson, got the speed, but, like, what else is he really, like, showing out with you guys? That's really what I got for him. Rocket Sanders, I just think, again, if he had better vision, he'd be such a good, well-rounded running back. But, again, the fact his vision just isn't really there is something that's going to just linger with him until that, like, becomes, like, at least average. Quinshon Judkins, workhorse back. Definitely like a little bit different than what you think if you watch your first impressions, but yeah, overall, really solid power back on down and down. Ashton Jeanty, probably one of the best players in the entire draft, 87.3 grade. Not mistaken, that is like a freaking, what is it? Should be a starter day one, something like that. I mean, I hope he is. Damien Martinez, slow, but like for his approach, it works. Ollie Gordon, similar type of thing. The only difference is that I think he definitely has a little bit more consistency to his game and definitely higher potential. Omarion Hampton, 82.1. Again, he's just a freaking power back, guys. Prototypical guy. He'll break tackles. He's fun to watch, and he'll be a guy that I also think should be able to start day one, but again, definitely has some pretty good high potential there. With that said, overall rankings, we do have Rocket Sanders coming in last. Not really because he really deserves it, just because, again, we have those vision issues. But he'd be around a 75 for sure if he was better there. Kaleb Johnson, Ollie Gordon, both coming around at 73.9 and 73.7. Damien Martinez and Treveyon Henderson are here. And Quinshon Judkins, I think he definitely should be a guy who could be a good starter. Again, with that workhorse mentality. RJ Harvey, guy who I really like a lot. Cam Skabetto. I mean, guys, you can't tell me Cam Skabetto, like, you gotta like him. Like, I get people are like, oh, he's freaking slow. He can't be good. But bounces off tackles left and right. Good receiving back. He will make things happen. I get he's not going to break 80-yard runs all the time, but he's still pretty explosive for his age. I don't know what it is about him, but there's something like it's like an untrait, like aura, like whatever it is, he's got it. That's what I got to say with Cam. Omarion Hampton, very good running back. If you don't know him as your number 2, I don't know what's wrong with you. And then of course Ashton Jeanty's number 1, because if he's not, well, I mean, you must really like Omarion. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys in these 2025 NFL Draft running back rankings. Get ready for receivers tomorrow. That's all I got for you guys.
Fly ball. That should do it. Upper deck. It's gone. Francisco Lindor walks it off for the Mets. His first walk-off home run in a Mets uniform. And this place is going wild on a Friday night. Cue the music, don't you? Yeah.